what's up? My name is Munchie. I'm a former athlete just like you or somebody you know, and this is Shootin in the Gym. But before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, or hit that notification button to make sure you stay up on all future releases of Shootin in the Gym and everything on the Wash Pod. All right, peace. We shooting in the gym tonight.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback.
And by tonight, I mean it is December 30th, 2021, almost 11 o'clock. It's 10:50 right now. I should have said 10:30. But anyway, don't
call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my peers, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion.
Wait, don't call it a comeback. Yeah. Classic. But, LL, if I don't call it a comeback, then what do I call it? Taking in full context of the time period in which this song was made, it's obvious that LL was making this at a time where competitive lyricism and artistry within the hip hop community was just beginning to hit the mainstream. You know, because it's pretty cut and clean version of, I would call it a diss song, or a very aggressive, clean diss song. So on the surface, it's like indicative of the energy needed, but at the same time, it's very clean and commercial. It's the type of energy that I really find myself needing as a young old head or old dope head. That don't sound good. Old is dope. It just makes sense that LL will make a song like that because it's probably the type of energy needed to survive, you know, constant threats to your toughness, your persona, your image, your reputation, and your abilities as a hip hop artist during that time period. But right now, for me, hearing that song as a 30-some-year-old dope former athlete, this song is energy I need to get through different parts of my day, especially like this time of night. It's 10:50 at night. And it's definitely something that resonates with me this time of year in particular. I feel like me, as a former football player, basketball player, the new year usually fell during a time of year where you were still actively playing. Either you're at the end of your season or just about to start like the middle of your season. And it really didn't mark a time period where you could celebrate a whole lot because you were actively just getting started. So naturally, it didn't quite mark like the beginning or end if you were actively playing one of those sports like it does for the non-athletes, or it did for non-athletes at that time, who really used this time period as kind of a line in the sand moment, at least for the month of January, because we know by, you know, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, everything goes out the window, everybody gets back. Everybody's fat again and lazy and chilling. Just being honest. Yeah, you. Yes, I'm shooting shots at you right now. Yes, you. The person that you always have to sit there and wait for the bench for. Bruh, you've been on the bench for 15 minutes. Like, you're not gonna get any stronger just sitting there looking at it. So now, as a former athlete, I get to experience this new year, new me phenomenon is supposed to be all about. Nah, bro, it's just a new year. Nah, bro, I'm a new person. January 1st, I'm on it. I'm a new person. For me and other former athletes that I think kind of think like I do, I think it's important to kind of set some boundaries for what this time period is supposed to be, or at least like set a foundation, or probably better stated as some ground rules on what this is and what it will not be for us as old and washed up former athletes. Now, here's the disclaimer, because some people will hear this a certain way, and I don't want to come across the wrong way. What this is not hate. What follows is a message delivered with love. It's the equivalent of that me emoji, I think that's how you say it, that has the devious look, but the guy's making kind of a heart. Yeah, the love hate. It's all love hate. It's the hate that you love to hear, but need to probably hear, because I know I needed to hear it because somebody just said it to me. So listen very closely. We cannot, I repeat, cannot get back. We cannot get back. We cannot get back to where we used to be. Now, I'm going to pause for a minute just to let that sink in. Yep, no hope, no possible way. So that's why I agree with LL and why I started this whole thing off the way I did. Don't call it a comeback. I repeat, don't call it a comeback. Because he's right. It ain't no damn comeback. What it is a come hither moment. It's a time period of the year in your new life after sports. It says, yes, come hither. Come into this new phase, this new marker in time, a new season of your life, if you will. A time where you're not trying to do the things that you used to do in the manner that you used to do them. Why? What I'm saying is 3 key points. Number one. After your sports career ended, if you haven't realized already, something I definitely realized, our time is not our time anymore. I repeat, our time is not our time anymore. See, when we were athletes, yes, we had other commitments. Some of us were actual students, not all of us. But now, just about all of us are something else. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, before we're ever remotely anything close to what we were as an athlete. So occasionally we get to remember that one point in time where we lived as athletes. Our time now is where we can find it, to be honest. I mean, like, bro, can I get like 5 minutes? Just can I get five minutes? Number 2, your body isn't that body anymore. Your body isn't that body anymore. If we're being honest, most of us know enough about our body to get good at the things that were required of us in the chosen sport we used to play. I repeat, most of us as former athletes really only know enough about our body that was required of us to be good at specific things in the chosen sport we used to play. So, for example, basketball players, we know how to cut, jump, do things to shoot jump shots, make layups, maybe even dunk, try to dunk. Don't do it now. But we really don't know how to improve things like our joint health on the whole. And spoiler alert, basketball players, I know this is going to be just alarming for you. It requires things called strength training exercises. Or for my football players who learned nothing but how to train for power and everything is brute force and I can just overcome it with more force and mass. I know it's not all football players, but on the whole, I'm just saying, I talk to a lot of you guys. I have news for you. Body weight, the body weight you put on to play that sport is expensive after you're done playing. It's expensive, literally. One simple adjustment is that your metabolism and level of activity now can't tolerate 5 to 6 meals worth of caloric intake on the regular anymore. You just can't eat that much, bro. You just gotta slow down. Learn moderation, functionality. Again, I could keep going all day down the line, talk about commonly held myths and things that don't apply after sports. So lastly, number three. And this probably should have been number 1, but life is longer than a single season. So you're gonna need that viewpoint and you're gonna need a new reason for doing whatever you're doing now. Depending on how long you've been away from the sport of choice or your sport of choice because of the most success you had. What I mean by that is some of y'all football players should have played basketball. Some of y'all basketball players probably should have played basketball because most of y'all ain't that tough. See, I was the opposite. I probably should have played football at least part of my college career, but I was tired of it. Anyway, life is long, bro. Life is long. And it should be viewed as being such. Even if we've been fortunate enough as athletes to play at the highest level for as long as possible, our season of being an athlete is minuscule when compared to the length of the lives we're likely to live in terms of the totality of our life, the length of our lives. An athlete's competitive career, in the best case, is 20 or so years long. And those are the best athletes. Most are much shorter than that. The life expectancy of most adults today is somewhere around the 80-year or so mark. I got a good gene, so I'm gonna live to like 110 or something like that. But that means 40 to 50 years for most of us to carve out something that resembles a life after sports. At whatever level of happiness, capability, fulfillment we decide to define for ourselves or create for ourselves. With that length of time in front of us, we have time for 2 to 3 careers worth of pursuits after sports. even while wearing the hats of being a spouse, a parent, a sibling, a friend, a community member, a coach, whatever your title is. So the question is, now as a former athlete, what is your reason for whatever season you're in? Before it was stats, admiration, recognition, public displays of physical talents, maybe even competing with a rival. But now that the lights and crowds and cameras and cheers are gone, what's your why? I mean, really think about it. I know I made this one number 3, but it should have probably been number 1, because it really decides how you view and use the first 2. That's why it was important to say, don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback!
Because your time and your health is really all you have now. But neither of these, when gone, are things that you can get back. Again, don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback!
So outside of that obvious fact, the most important things are the reason for this season that you're choosing to go through in a particular portion of your life. What are you looking to prepare for, or prepare yourself to compete for, to perform for? It used to be bowl games if you're a football player this time of year, or playoff games, conference championships, conference games, tournaments. But now it might be just to take a walk, or walk your child down the aisle, or be fully present and capable for your spouse, or to finally lay to rest that regret or part with some sort of resentment that you've carried about something that you did or didn't do, or did or didn't happen your way during your career. Whatever the case may be, whatever did or didn't happen, the bottom line is you still are who you are. You are who you were, and you are where you are because of the things you chose to do. The only thing that's consistent between you then and you now is you. And that has nothing to do with the sports title you used to adorn or used to be something that you cherished. And everything to do with you realizing that really, regardless of what happened then during your sports career, you're still the same competitor you've always been. So, LL is right. Don't call it a comeback. Because if you understand what I'm saying, you never left. And there's really nothing for you to get back to, because you're still the same person. Now, maybe your off season, in terms of you feeling like you've got something to compete for or look forward to, has lasted a little longer than expected, but I think it's time to keep, focus on keeping score and get back to keeping score. So let's get it. Otis dope. Thanks for shooting in the gym with me. Peace. Thanks for checking out Shootin in the Gym. This is a portion of our podcast segments where we're looking for feedback from you. Yep, you watching this, checking out. We need feedback. We can't make this thing or any of this or any of the Wash Pod anything that it should be without feedback from you, former athletes just like us, or people that you know that are former athletes. So before you depart, make sure you do 2 things. 1, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and turn on your notifications to make sure you get notified of all future releases of the Wash Pod, especially Shootin in the Gym. But then 2, go to oldandwashedup.com/washpod. The link will be in the description. Again, that's oldandwashedup.com/washpod. We will have that link in the description. On there, you will see some directions to click a widget that we have set up for you to record audio and give us some feedback. That could be questions, comments, hopefully no profanity. But getting feedback from you will help us make this better in the future. And our intention is to include any sort of questions, comments, or suggestions in future releases on the Wash Pod. Again, this has been Shootin in the Gym. Appreciate your time. Looking forward to hearing from you in advance. Peace.